Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Manak Nawahai, Barish Allah, Lakim La Atam, Call Shabuai, Bahar Kha, Wakak Shaw, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Ma'amat, which is truly hey with the Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in and week out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, to preach to you so called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, there's life foreigners, Nacham Atam, Kaya, Hamalak Wath Hashabayim, Korah, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call Layam La, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Bahasham, Kha Kodash. Wa mashana kabadim zakoyim nawa wa malakim shaw yashala zakoyim chagar wa chasad wa shalawam wa barakim laha bacharim shaw ha gawaye shala shalawam. Alright, so all praise to the Most High Yahweh, which means He exists by Hashem, by the name Yahweh Shai delivers. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Israel, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and mercy, peace, and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom, which means peace. This is an article on RT. It reads, it says, NATO announces major spending increase. It says the organization's budgets for 2024 will be boosted by between 12% and 30%. NATO members have agreed to significantly increase the organization's civil and military budgets for 2024, which when you go into the NWO, it talks about how they need civil or civic participation. You see, so this can very well go into how they want more laws and legislations and things of that nature in the civil aspect, and then of course in the military, they could potentially do like a soft martial law or a martial law. So it says the extra operational funding has been touted as a sign of solidarity within the U.S.-led military bloc. The spending boost was approved by the governing North Atlantic Council at a meeting on Wednesday, according to a NATO statement. Its civil budget for the next year has been increased by 18.2% from 2023, amounting to $477 million. Its military budget will rise by 12% compared to last year, amounting to $2.2 billion. The NATO Security Investment Program, the third major spending component, will see a 30% annual increase to $1.4 billion in 2024. Common funding demonstrates allied solidarity and collective will in turbulent times. We will need this more than ever, Bloc Deputy Secretary General Mircea Giona said of the budgets. NATO normally coordinates the contributions of member states and its missions as opposed to fielding a military force of its own. I'm gonna read that again. It says NATO normally coordinates the contributions of member states and its missions, as opposed to fielding a military force of its own. So essentially, I believe that's going into how it's comprised like different militaries. It doesn't necessarily have a NATO all right, this is the NATO military force, so to speak. I believe that's what that's going into. All right, it says it has guidelines on the level of defense spending and preferred military hardware, but otherwise participants are technically free to allocate their resources as they see fit, unless the cornerstone clause of mutual defense is invoked. It says, in practice, critics say NATO serves a vehicle for geopolitical and economic interests of its biggest defense spender, the U.S., which gives other members protection in exchange for supporting Washington's agenda. The common funding covers the costs of NATO operations, including personnel salaries, joint air defenses, and communications, as well as certain training exercises. It says the costs are split among member states based on the size of their economies, with the U.S. footing roughly half of the bill. It says industry leader warns of global gunpowder shortage. Russia, which considers NATO a hostile organization and a threat to its national security, has warned that the bloc aspires to an increasingly global role, especially as the U.S. ramps up competition with China. Moscow has cited NATO's expansion in Europe and the intention to eventually absorb Ukraine as a key cause of the ongoing hostilities with its neighbor. NATO members and leadership claim that the Ukraine crisis necessitates increased spending by its members. You see, so it's the war drums beating. They're mounting up for war. And things as such. All right, so let's get some precepts. This is Matthew chapter 24, and we'll get verse 7. Verse 6, it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. All right, this is a rumor of a war. All right, let me go into this real fast. It says rumors. It says a sense of, here, slop, not this. It says of wars. It says a war, a fight, a dispute, strife, quarrel. All right, then it says encounter or a series. All right, which this is essentially leading up to a war. All right, I'm gonna read again. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that," which this can go into a hearing of Salat. That's why I wanted to get that word. It says a thing heard, a report, or hearsay. All right, it's hearsay leading up into a war. So it says, "Ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows." You see, so there has been wars and rumors of wars up until this time, you see, and it's only going to increase. And that's why they're increasing their military funding, or their civil and their military funding, because they understand that there's a war that's going to break out. All right. War is going to it's going to lead up to war WW3. All right, let's get that. This is our Revelation chapter Revelation chapter 11 verse 14. It says, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly." Hey, it's coming quickly. Hey, they're mounting up for them for more military funding. All right, that's what we can see. All right, they're spending more money. They're amping up with the civil and the military, like we just saw in that article. All right, let's get another one. This is Isaiah chapter 9, and let's get verse 5. It says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." All right, this one's going to be burning and fuel of fire. All right, because this one's going to end in a ICBM missile nuclear destruction. All right, everything is going to be completely destroyed. All right, let's get that. This is Yahazak Allah, also Ezekiel chapter 21. Let's get verse 9. So it says, "Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Shall we then make mirth? It contamineth the rod of my son as every tree. He hath given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer." Hey, and these swords, the swords ultimately going into the missiles. All right, the missiles are being made. They're not just being made to sit up inside a science lab or a museum. They're actually going to be used. All right, and that's essentially what these nations are preparing for. Salat. This is Isaiah chapter 54. Let's get verse 12. Salat. This is Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 16 says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy." All right, and essentially those smiths being those different scientists that came up with the nuclear missiles, the nukes. All right, it says Harash, it says craftsman, artisan, engraver, graver. It says skillful to destroy. All right, it says workman, it says mason. So those that made the nukes, you see, which they were made, they are made to essentially destroy. All right, and that's essentially going to be WW3. All right, so I don't want to Zah Zabanayapa, Lord's will does a beautiful edification through the spirit. Water on to Zah Atham Yashin Wan Tawab. Lord's will. You all have a good day.